Good evening, folks. So this is Tom Herbert of The Useful Coach, and I'm going to show you a quick video on how to use my energy availability calculator. Now, I'm not going to talk about what energy availability is. Please go to my Instagram account, which is @usefulcoach, and have a look at this bright yellow post that you'll see in the middle of the feed, which will basically is a slide deck explaining everything about energy availability. At the very end of the deck, there is a link to this energy availability calculator, which is what I'm going to talk about now. So I made this spreadsheet to help you calculate your energy availability based on what you eat during the week and what you expend during the sessions. We've got three main bits that need to be understood. One, we need to understand your total body weight. So I'm going to put in 80 kilos. And we need to know what your estimated body fat is. Now, this doesn't have to be too exact. And a percentage change is going to be about 100 calories either way. So if I show you an example. So watch this number here at the bottom. I won't explain what this is yet, but just watch this number here. Let's say that I'm going to totally underestimate my body fat and think that I'm 12% body fat, which I'm not, right? I'm looking at about 2,816 calories, right, for this in this little calculation, because this calculation is based off this fat-free mass. But in reality, I'm more likely to be 15% body fat. So what happens is basically it's dropped by 100 calories. Now, ultimately, if you're coming to look at this calculator, you may have a concern that you're not eating enough, or you want to understand whether you are eating enough, right? So what you're going to be doing is erring on the side of eating more anyway, right? So this 100 calorie difference is not going to be a big issue, right? It's only going to be an issue if you're really skimming the fine edge of what is energy availability or not. But let's just say you have either gone online and had a look at pictures of people with verified body fatness, or you've had yours measured, basically put in your estimated number here. This big box here is a way for you to understand what your weekly energy intake minus exercise expenditure resulting in your energy availability. The energy availability guidelines are here at the bottom, and this is what we're going to be looking at. So what you need to do is you have to use a calorie tracker for a week. Now, this could be something like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer or one of those sort of things. And it's a real pain in the ass to use, but the main thing is for you to just log everything that you eat so that you can understand what your energy intake is per day. So I'm just going to put some random numbers in here for what this person or myself here is having during the week. So let's just say 2,800. Let's say 2,500, 2,600, 2,600, 2,800, 2,200, 2,600, and let's say 3,000 here. Okay. What I've got is I basically put in the days of what I've seen in my calorie tracker of how much I'm eating for those days during the week. This is where it becomes a little bit tricky. Now I've got to estimate my calorie expenditure for the training that I'm doing, right? This can be done in a general sense using something called a MET calculator, which I've got here, MET's calculator. So just click here for help, and it's going to take you to a page that looks like this, where I've put in my total body weight and I've done actual activity time. Now, what you've got to think about is that, say you go to a gym and you spend an hour and a half in a gym, your actual activity is only the time where you're actually lifting weights. So this could be about 30 minutes of actual work versus spending an hour and a half in the gym, sitting around, checking your phone, all this sort of stuff. So you want to try and just find as close approximation as you can of the minutes that you're actually working. Again, if you are wanting to use this, you're going to be trying to err on the side of caution anyway. So don't be too worried that you're not getting exact. Just find some sort of estimation. So every single morning during the week, I go to the gym and do a resistance training session. I'm in there for about an hour or so, and I would estimate that I'm probably doing 30 minutes of actual work. So these are two big exercises like a squat and a bench or overhead press or weighted pull-ups and things like that. So what I put in here is basically 30 minutes at my body weight, and I've chosen this weight training exercise here. Right? Hit calculate, and it's giving me 200 calories, right? So I'm going to first put in the days that I don't do anything in the evening, right? So Monday, I only do a gym session. Thursday, I only do a gym session. And Friday, I only do a gym session. Oh, well, I mean, I do a gym session every day, but I'm gonna add more on now. Okay, so on Tuesdays, I do a dance class, which is probably going to expend anything from let's say 100 to 200 calories, depending on how vigorous it is. But to make this easy, I'm just going to put in 200 calories. So 200 plus 200, my expenditure for the day in terms of actual exercise is 400. On Wednesdays, I might do a climbing session, and this is where it becomes a little bit tricky, right? So I did a metabolic test with a guy who weighs about 83 kilos, and he was doing basically back-to-back bouldering for 40 minutes exactly. And I worked out that his calorie expenditure was, I worked 80 calories for the session, right? So that's 40 minutes of fairly non-stop bouldering, works out to be about 280. So let's just say that a typical climbing session, in an evening in a kind of busy climbing center might be around this kind of 30 to 40 minutes of actual climbing. So let's say that we're going to just do on Wednesday when I do that, let's just put, let's say 250 calories on top of that. So it's 450 calories. And on a Friday, I do a pole dance class, which I have no idea what the expenditure is, but let's say it's about 200 calories. So let's make this 400 calories. Saturday is my big climbing day. I don't go to the gym, but I spend like 4 hours in the climbing gym, doing various sessions. So let's say that I'm going to probably do in total an hour of actual climbing, right? So if we've got 40 minutes here, 280, let's say 60 minutes, and what do we get? About 420 20 calories. So let's say I'm going to be 400 calories on that day, or let's say we're going to upwards, we'll say 450. And on a Sunday, I actually don't do much at all. I end up just kind of going for a walk or something. So let's just say 200 calories the most. So here we've used our calorie counter, our calorie tracker, to estimate what we're eating every day during the week. And then we've kind of estimated what our actual work activity expenditure is. Now, I'm a busy guy, and unfortunately, training is not a priority in my life, so I don't do very much. But I know a lot of you that are climbing 4 or 5 times a week, plus doing additional body weight training or resistance training. So these numbers are going to be much higher. So that is the big thing I want you to do, is to make sure that you have that in check. So what we have now is we have our average energy availability score. Here we've got a red here to indicate what's going on. But what this means is that at the moment for me, I'm basically in this subclinical low energy availability score, because as a guy, I need between 30 and 40 calories, right, per kilogram of fat-free mass, which is up here, right? So if I was trying to make progressive training gains and improve my performance and health, I would need to eat more than this, right? Because I'm sitting in this yellow zone, I need to be at least in this optimal EA zone, right? So how do I know what to do for that? That's where this box comes in check. So if I'm choosing 40 as my energy availability score, let's choose the day that I expend the most. So let's just choose 450 calories on a Saturday, right? So I put 450 calories in, that's my energy exercise expenditure. And this tells me what I should be eating on my Saturdays, right? 3,170 calories for that day is where I would get a energy availability of 40, right? So if I put this in here, 3,170, right? Or it would be 3,100, right? you can start to see that it starts matching. So remember, this is the energy that I need to put in to get this score, right? So I'm putting in the wrong box. That's why the calculator is going weird. It's here. So you can see on the Saturday, I was eating 2,600 with a 450 calorie expenditure, which is why I've got such a low score. That's why I should be eating 3,170 according to the thing, and that's going to give me the 40 score. Now it's saying yellow because it's 3240, and optimal needs to be greater. For the guy, it needs to be greater than 40. But what you can see is that this allows you to start to understand what your intake is, what your expenditure is, and your available score here is, your energy availability is. So do have a look at this calculator. I'm going to end it now because it's 10 minutes and I wanted to put it up on Instagram. If you have any questions about this, please head over to my Instagram account. You can come to this post and then put your comments in the box, and I'll help you as best I can. So yes, I hope this is useful, and I'll speak to you soon.